Now, there are some methods that are available with array objects. So why don't we see some examples? Open the terminal and type IRB to start an interactive Ruby shell. Now let's create a number array using a range. A equals array, a range 0 to 10. And yeah, these are the numbers from 0 to 9. And we can use the size method to get the length of an array. A size shows 11. We can also use the length method to get the length of an array. A length shows 11. Max is a method that gives the maximum number in the array or maximum alphabetic order in a string array. A max shows 10. Min method gives the minimum number in a number array or the minimum alphabetic order in a string array. A min shows 0. The sum method gives the sum of all items in an array. A sum shows 55. We can easily get the first item of an array using the first method. A first shows 0. And we can also easily get the last item of an array using the last method. A last shows 10. Arrays are mutable objects, so we can change items. Append is the method that adds an element to the end of an array. A append 1. And yes, 1 is at the end of the array. The count method returns the count of the number of items in an array. So A count 1 shows 2 because there are 2 items as 1. The pop method removes and returns the last element from an array. A pop shows 1, the last item. Show the array, and sure enough, it's removed. So we can push items to the end of the array using the push method. A push Ruby, and there it is as the last item in the array. Index is a method that returns the index of the first matched item in the array. A index Ruby shows 11. So we can delete items from the array using delete as our method. A delete Ruby show the array, and it's deleted. And we can get items of an array on a specific index using the at method. A at 9 shows 9. And we can get items of the array in reverse order using the reverse method. A reverse returns the array in reverse order as a new array. And we can use the shuffle method to get items in a random order. A shuffle returns the array in a random order. Each shuffle operation returns a different random ordered array. Sort is the method that sorts items in the array in ascending order. A sort. And we can get a string representation of the array using 2s as our method. A 2s. Now the join method returns a string created by converting each element of the array to a string separated by the given separator. Now if no separator is specified, an empty string will be used. A join show the items as a string. And if we use a dash as a separator, A join dash shows a result. We can check items if they exist in the array using the include method. A include 3 shows true because 3 is in the array. A include 100 shows false because 100 is not in the array. So let's clear the screen. Now we can use the each method to iterate throughout the array. A each a block x as a block variable puts x, and it shows each item in the array. We can use the each index method to get an index of elements. A each index a block I as block variable puts index I in interpolation. It shows each index in the array. We can also use the each with index method to use both index and value of the array. A each with index a block value and index as block variables put index and value in interpolation. Shows each value and index in the array. Let's clear the screen again. Now we can use the map method to iterate through the array and evaluate each value of it. So A map a block x as block variable x exponential sign 2 returns a new array having squared values of the array. So we may have some nested arrays. In that case, we may want to see each item in a new array. To make this operation, we can use the flatten method. A equals 1, 2, an array, 4, 5, an array, 4, 5, an array, A, B. A flatten, and we can use the product method to get the Cartesian product of two arrays. 1, 2, 3, product A, B shows a Cartesian product of the given arrays.